Good morning students. Welcome to video classes of 7th history. This is Vajanti Rathod and I will be teaching you history. Okay, before starting our today's session, let's discuss something interesting. Now, dear students, have you heard about one king, well-known king of Maharashtra whose bravery and courageous stories are heard even today? Can you name this king? Yes, he is Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, who has struggled with Mughals and established his own rule, that is Swaraj. So this year we will be studying very interesting and courageous bravery stories of our Shivaji Maharaj. Okay, so let's begin with our today's session with first lesson, that is sources of history. Lesson number 1, sources of history. Let's understand what is history. History means what? The study of past events, the study of past happenings. That is called as what? History. When we talk about the ancient things, the things which has various events which has taken place so long before, that information, that stories, that is called as what? History. Okay, history gives us chronological, scientific and systematic information of the past events. Now chronological means what? Children, you must have studied arranged in a chronological order or alphabetical order. That you have studied now. Means chronological means what? In order. Means which event has taken place first, after that which event has taken place, after that which event has taken place. All that sequence of the events is called as what? Chronology. So history gives us information about the past events. It gives us information about the chronology, that is the sequence of the events, how the scientific development took place, and in a very systematic way we get this information. So history, study of history is very important. Okay, now here the question arises, how we get this information? Now children, you hear about many old stories, mythological stories and many other stories you hear about. Okay, now how you came to know about these stories, that these stories was there, such things happened, particular happenings has taken place. How we come to know? We come to know with the help of sources. Okay, whatever information we get in history while studying history, that past information we get with the help of these sources. Now what do you mean by sources? Sources means what? Okay, sources are any objects or any things which gives us information about the past. Understood here? What are sources then? Sources are that objects or things which gives us information about the past. Right? So here you can see some of the examples. A coin, if you have seen the old coins, okay, now on that coins, now today we are having totally different coins, but you must have seen some old coins. On that the copper coins was there, previously gold coins were there, silver coins were there, right? Means see, from that coin we can understand that in ancient time this type of coins were there. Various books are there. By reading that books we understand about the old happenings, ancient period happenings. Again, various constructions also we can understand, various statues which are there, which are constructed from that, which are erected from that, we can understand about the past. Okay, so these are some of the images, like toys and clay toys, which gives us information that in ancient period clay toys were in use. Children used to play with clay toys. Now children, today's in modern period, what type of toys we have? We have electronic toys, right? Means what? The development has taken place. Again, various constructions are there and many coins are there, utensils, and these are the written forms, cave stone carvings, as well as the cave paintings. From all these, all gives us information about the past happenings, and therefore they are called as what? Sources. So, what is the title of our lesson? Sources of history. In this lesson, we are going to study some sources of history. Okay, when you study history, understanding, whenever you study history, the history of three periods is studied. To understand the development, the progress of the man, for that history is divided into three periods, that is ancient period, medieval period and the modern period. Right? Now last year you have studied about the ancient period, very old period. You have studied all about the happenings of ancient period, right, in your 6th standard. Now you are in 7th standard. So this year we are going to study about the medieval period. That is, the medieval period means which period? The period from 9th century to end of the 18th century. Which period is medieval period? The period from 9th century to 18th century is considered as medieval period. So this year we are going to study about medieval period. And the modern period is what? The electronic and technological period. That is the today's period which we are living in. This is the modern period which you are going to learn in next year, that is in 8th standard. So this year we are going to study about what? About the medieval period. Okay, now when we study history, we study about four factors. Means, that is the individuals, we study about the individuals, we study about the society, we study about the place, and we study about the time. So about four factors we study in history. Which are that four factors? Individuals, society, place and time. Example. Now already I told you, when we study history, we study history in three periods. Which are they? Ancient period, medieval period and the modern period. Now when we talk about the individuals, the peoples in the medieval period, how were these people? The Stone Age man, right? Then he developed and he became agrarian, that is he started doing agriculture. So he's completely totally different, right? After that, in medieval period, various rulers came. You can see in picture, various rulers were there, court was there, king was there. Then afterwards the modern period, right? Modern period means the British rule. During this British rule, how the Britishers came to India, how they established their power, means all the development, how it took place, all that about the modern period we study in the modern period. Okay, in this modern period. Now individuals, in the same way society of ancient, how were the people? That is, in the very ancient period, the society was divided on the basis of work, right? Then in medieval, the again development was there, and in modern, again today's society, how is today's society? Today the casteism and all that is doesn't matter, right? So this is how the society, about the society we study. Then the place and the time, how the time changed and how the development took place in the history, in that we study in the history. In the study of history, four factors are very important. Means, when we study history, we study about these four factors. Which are they? Individuals, society, place and the time. Okay, individuals means what? The human beings. Now ancient individuals, the individuals in medieval period and the individuals in modern period. When we compare this, what we find the difference from the, here you can see the images of the individuals in the ancient period. These people were totally, their lifestyle was totally different, right? The man was the Stone Age man. This period belongs to this, and these people were completely dependent on the nature. Then in medieval period, this is the period of various kings, their dynasties and their administrations. You can see the image here. And the modern period means what? It is the freedom struggle and the various development, scientific development took place during this period. So individuals, the progress of the individual from ancient, medieval and modern, that we study in the history. In the same way, society of ancient, society of medieval, society of modern. When we compare this, in that also we see the differences. Same is the case with the place and the time. The places are also changing now. Not many development has taken place today, and in this way when we study history, we study about these 4 factors. Okay. When we study history, this history should be based on authentic proof or evidences, right? Authentic means what? Real, means trustworthy, which we should be able to believe on that. So that sources are called as what? Authentic, real sources, right? Because many fake information we may get, so we have to verify whether whatever information we are getting, that information is real or not. And how we will understand that? With the help of sources we can understand the history. We can get the correct information, correct proof or evidences with the help of the sources, right? Now these sources are, which are these 3 sources? The historical sources are divided into 3: material sources, written sources, and the oral sources. Okay. Now material sources means it includes various buildings, constructions, and many such examples. We will be studying in detail all that. Written sources means the books which are written in the written form, and the oral means the stories which we hear from the ancient period, the folk stories. Such examples are the example of what? These are the examples of what? Oral sources. Okay. Now when we get information about the material sources, example, if suppose we get some old utensils in Harappa civilization, if you have studied, in that excavations, very ancient utensils which were used by the people in that period, that utensils, pots were found, weapons, tools were found. From that we understood that Harappan civilization means so long before these people were using this type of utensils. In the same way, written records, many books are written. By reading that books we get the information about the past event. And the when we hear stories about from your grandparents, you must be hearing the stories, right, orally. So from this all information we get from these 3 sources, but we have to verify whether these sources are real or not. Then only by verifying whether these material sources, written sources, and oral sources are true, they are correct, then only we should trust. So we have to verify the various sources before trusting it. So while studying history, it is very important to verify and find out the information from the correct sources of. Some more examples of material sources. Now different constructions in the form of material sources we see from the ancient period till today. Okay, Chaityas, this is the place for the prayer. This is the image of Chaityas. You can see the constructions here, right? Now Samadhi, which Samadhi is the monument, or it is built in the memory of the great personalities. This is the Samadhi of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Again, Vihar, this is the place where the meditation and the prayer is done. Then various temples are also constructed. Temples are also the example of material sources. Variety of different types of temples which are constructed during different periods are shown in this figure, right, in this image. Then the mosques are there, different mosques which are constructed. Here this image shows the mosques, world stunning peak mosques, right? Okay. Now some more examples we will study about the material sources. Now whatever pictures you are seeing on the screen, these are the examples of what? Material sources. Now material sources, so which are the various examples? The buildings, right? Buildings are building is one of the example of material source. Now buildings means various constructions, various types of buildings are constructed right from the ancient period, medieval period, and even today. So these buildings, they gives us information about the past. Okay, the different style of constructions, architecture, all that information we can study with the help of these buildings. Cave sculptures. Now cave sculptures, cave paintings, that you must have heard about, right? So in the same way, in ancient period, the people used to have cave sculptures, right? Now sculptures means what? The carving of the statues on the walls of the caves. So here you can see these carvings, the beautiful carvings which are carved in the walls, on the walls of the caves. Then the inscriptions. We will be studying in detail about the inscriptions. Here inscriptions means what? The carving on the stone. That is, the stones were given a particular shape and something was written on that. So that is called as what? Writing or carving the stones is called as what? Inscriptions. This is the example of inscriptions. Again, the coins. Coins are also the material sources. Now here you can see the coins of ancient period. Today we are having totally different period, but in ancient period or medieval period, the type of coin used was totally different. Such £1, these are the different coins which were used during different periods. Okay, now here copper plates. In the ancient time, copper was used and it was inscribed, means on copper also something was written, okay, carved. That is called as copper plate. So this is the example of Indian copper plate, right? Now forts. Forts are also the example of material sources. Various forts the kings used to construct. This is the image of the Shivneri fort, which Shivaji Maharaj, during Shivaji Maharaj it was there. It belongs to Shivaji Maharaj period, right? So these are various material sources, examples of material sources. Now dear students, inscriptions. Just now we have discussed about inscriptions. So what is inscriptions now? It is a carving on a stone, right? Inscription means what? Carving on a stone. Now these inscriptions used to be there when the people human beings, they have just started learning the art of writing. They have got the knowledge about the writing, but at that time pen, pencil, all that things were not there as we are using today many new technical things. But at that time they used to write whatever they want to write. They used to write on the stones, means they used to carve the stones. By giving a particular shapes, they used to write something on the stones. Okay, so these carvings or these inscriptions are very important and reliable sources of history, right? We can depend on that because it is the authentic, it is the real proof or evidence which will give us real information about the ancient period. One such example is Brihadeshwar temple in Tanjavur. This temple, you can see the image here. Here the carvings you can see. Various images are carved, various statues are carved on the walls of the temple. So these are the real images. This is the real proof. Getting here? So we can rely on that. There can be no fake information about this. This is the real thing which we can see, right? So this is the example of inscriptions. Now inscriptions, so different types of inscriptions were there because during that period Chalukyas, Rashtrakutas, Chola and Yadavas, these were different dynasties came, different kings came belonging to these different dynasties, and accordingly they made changes, they made inscriptions, right? So many inscriptions are seen during this period. Now again, the importance of inscription is what? That it helps us to understand what we understand with the help of these inscriptions. We understand the language which is written on that stones or in the form of inscriptions. We understand the script literature. Then we understand about the social life of the people. Okay, how was the social life about them, what was their beliefs, all about the social life belonging to that particular period. Copper plates, they also started using the copper plates. Okay, and what they used to write on these in the inscriptions means what they used to write on the, what they used to carve on the stones or the metal plates like copper plates. They used to write the royal edicts. Royal edicts मतलब क्या, the king's order. king जो order देते थे वो पत्थर पे या फिर कॉपर प्लेट्स पे लिखा जाता था, उसे कहा जाता था रॉयल एडिक्ट्स. ठीक है, और इसको पब्लिक प्लेस पे रखा जाता था. मीन्स द पीपल यूज टू रीड द royal order, the king's order, and accordingly they used to follow. Okay, so this is how inscriptions are the very important and reliable sources. Means we can completely depend on these sources for the real proof. Coins are also one of the very important material source, right? Now with the help of these coins we can understand that which ruler has made that. Means made by different rulers. Various types of coins we can study about. We can see the images of these various coins which were made by different rulers, such as gold coin, silver coin, copper coin, right? So in a very ancient period gold coin was there, then it was replaced by silver, and now then afterwards it was replaced by copper coins, right? Now today also we have different types of coins. Now what is the importance of these coins? Now from these coins we get lots of information. The information about rulers period, about which ruler has used that coins, which ruler has introduced that coins, during which period it was introduced, the religious ideas about that, what was the religion, which was the religion mostly followed during this period, and the personal details. If you observe these coins carefully, you will be able to see some images, year, or something is written on that. From these written part we can get the information about the which period it belongs to, and all detailed informations about the rulers and all. Again we learn these coins plays a very important role in the study of history, because we learn about the financial transactions, during which period what type of money was used for sale and purchase of the things. That is called as what? Financial transactions. Economic conditions, what type of economic condition was there, the period, such as the period during which gold coin was there. From that we can understand the economy was very prosperous, means the very rich peoples were there during that period, and it was then replaced by silver, then copper. So means from that what we understand about the economic conditions of that particular period. Metallurgy means what? Study of various metals. As the development took place, number of metals were discovered, many more metals were discovered, and accordingly man started using different metals for making the coins, right? Again the images which is there on these coins, from that also we can understand the beliefs of the people. Like Hyder Ali, during the period of Hyder Ali, there was image of Shiv Parvati, god Shiv Parvati was there on this image. You can see the image of the coin here. Then one more coin is there shown here. During the period of Emperor Akbar, there was Ram, Lakshman, Sita, and Hanuman. This image was there on this. Then again one more coin is shown here. The coins which were belonging to the Peshwa period, and what was embossed on that, what was written on that, the language which was used to write on this coin was the Arabian language or the Persian language. Okay, means from these coins we can study about the name of the ruler, we can study the period during which it belongs to, we can study the various beliefs or the religious beliefs of the people, culture and tradition during that period. So dear students, here we conclude with our today's topic. In next video we will be learning more about the more interesting sources of history, such as written sources of history as well as oral sources of history, which will make the next video also very interesting as today. So I hope today's part is very clear to all of you. Thank you and have a nice day.